Hello friend, Jim here with JB's Big Adventure coming to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. And today I'm once again at the Ajijic Plaza. This is on a Saturday and it's just nice how folks are out and about walking around. And so yes, the 10 things I wish that we knew before moving to Mexico. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because of the fact that the next video I'll have is what I wish we would have known before moving to Lake Chapala. But right now we're talking about on a broad scale when it comes to moving to Mexico. Here's the first thing, and this is probably the part that I most got somewhat frustrated about, and I can get frustrated today too all about it, and that is you need patience. Because everything here is totally different. You don't find the locals being in a hurry, really, much at all. And so whether you're at the bank, whether it's just, doesn't matter. You can be driving and you'll find that the traffic, when I'm saying traffic, I'm just talking about there being cars on the road, doesn't always go at any kind of fast speed. The nice thing is when in fact you're here living just the regular life, when you're waking up every day, there comes a point where you get it. There comes a point where you'll now know that it's more relaxed. You don't have the issues with stress and anxiety. It's just a much better life to be able to live. So it's everything is on Mexico time, and it's just something you have to get used to. I lived a fast-paced life, but when I came here, it turns out that I went ahead and I got to slow down, but it's taken like 4 years for me to be able to do that. The second item is cash is king. So when you come to Mexico, you're not really able to use your US dollars. What you have to use pesos. So what I suggest folks that when you're actually coming to take a look at Mexico or looking at moving here, what you really do is you want to come with pesos. You can actually order those at your bank in the States or Canada before you even come down. So when you go to the restaurant, there's a lot of restaurants that won't accept credit card or US currency. You really can't use US currency here. It just doesn't work. You have to have it in Mexican pesos. So it's important to get used to what the denominations are like, what the equalities are like when it comes to looking at, what's 500 pesos, what's 20 pesos, what's the equivalent when it comes to US or Canadian currency. The other way of getting money here is you go to the ATMs, and all of the ATMs are going to give you pesos. They're not going to give you US dollars or Canadian money. So just know that for every 20 pesos, it's $1. And if you're looking at 100 pesos, that's $5. 1,000 pesos is $50. So it just all depends on what it is that you've got in your pocket in regards to what the denomination, but it's something that's good to get used to before you even get here. Another thing, we did not realize how good the healthcare is here versus in the States. Even more importantly, how affordable it is. Barbara was in the hospital last year in August, and I was there with her, and just excellent treatment. Just really taken good care of. And that is really an important thing. And I wish we'd have known more about that before he came down, but we found out about that as we are, permanent days, and we've been here for a while. We've really got a good feel. I can go to the doctor. Barbara goes to the doctor. They give you an hour. They don't just give you, 15 minutes and they're checking their watch. You get a full hour. So the healthcare and the medical care here and the facilities here locally are absolutely awesome. The climate change is not something determined by altitude, but determined by distance. So we're a mile high, and it turns out that Guadalajara is close to mile high also, but there's a real difference. We're here by a lake, we're surrounded by mountains, and so being a mile high and being able to have the wonderful weather on a daily basis. Because of the fact that's what's really important here is one of the big differences is be able to come someplace where in fact every day is like springtime. And so it's called the eternal spring is what you'll hear a lot of people talk about it as. So that is something that's here that in fact you can check out and you can see is the climate, how great the climate is. Number 5, I encourage people that you're going to want to learn some Spanish. Now here's the reason that you go ahead and you learn Spanish is because of the fact it gives you the ability of embracing the culture and really being around people a lot more. So some of the things that is really an important part of that is learning Spanish. Now, I know that in my learning, because we've been here now 4 years and I'm taking Spanish lessons, I tried some other courses, but they were just, they were ridiculous. I mean, I just knew for some reason it was a waste of time for me even going. But knowing a little bit of Spanish before you get here is a real plus. I know there's different apps for it and such, but what really works out the best is there are classes, and there's one class that's here. If you have an interest in regards to where that class is at, or you're going to be coming to Lake Chapala, if you'll reach out to me, I'll let you know exactly where it's at, or you can get plugged in, because she's absolutely phenomenal. She does a wonderful job, and she's been doing it for like 25 years at a collegiate level. So, and she is just a wonderful person. She really, really expressive and really good about the information. She knows a lot of things about Mexico that she also brings into the conversation. And so it's really, really a blessing of having that. So learning some Spanish is a real plus. Not all areas are created equal. Now, I'm going to be talking about Lake Chapala, but one of the things that's important to know is the farther that you are up north as comparing to come down south, you're going to find a difference when it comes to the kind of people. I would say, just from personal experience, when you're up at the border, I would say there's a lot of folks, the local Mexican people, kind of see Americans a little bit differently. Because they do see them all the time at the border, there's a little bit, I would say, a little bit of a difference when it comes to the experience that you receive. When you come and being here at Lake Chapala, the locals are absolutely incredible. They're warm, they're kind, they're very helpful. You've always seen them with a smile, and that's a real plus when it comes to the people here in Mexico. Number 7, paperwork can be a real maze. Now, what paperwork am I talking about? I'm talking about a rental agreement. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't have the right representation, you can actually get scammed here. There are, just like there are in the States, there are areas that are very, very much that have, just like in the States, there's scams and things that go on. But when you're renting, I would highly encourage you to rent it from somebody who's a legitimate owner of the house, or a rental agency, or it's a rental agent. It's really important to make sure that you have those connections, because that makes the difference of your stay in the rental that you've got. Number 8, driving is an adventure. So here's what takes place here when you drive. You're going to find there'll be people, like mostly motorcycles, that will actually pass you on either side of the vehicle. It's something you just have to get used to, because this is Mexico. It's a cultural thing here, and it's important to really wrap your arms around it in advance, because of the fact that that is something that can be sometimes frustrating. Also, traffic signs and traffic signals are merely suggestions. When you're coming up to a light, it's really important to just know that some will actually run the red light. You just got to be cognizant of where you're at and what's going on around you. Number 9, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, you're going to fall in love with the people. The people are some of the friendliest people I've ever met, hardest working people I've ever met. Always willing to be helpful, always willing to be involved in your life to help you when in fact they can. I mean, the back-breaking work I've seen, even with employees, folks that are gardeners that are in their 60s on the ground pulling weeds by hand, stuff that you wouldn't see in the States. They're just really hard working here, and it doesn't matter if they're working in a garden. It doesn't matter if you meet them at the restaurant. It doesn't matter if they come and they clean your house. What's really important is just knowing that you have got the opportunity of being around the warm Mexican people, because they're absolutely phenomenal. And the last one, number 10, you don't have to figure out what Lake Chapala is all about by yourself. You don't have to. There's a lot of people that come and just feel like they'll go ahead and figure it out, but you don't have to do that. I offer a boots on the ground discovery tour where for 2 days I'm showing you the 20 miles in between Jocotepec and Chapala and everything in between. All the neighborhoods. I'm talking about the pros and the cons with the neighborhoods. I'm talking about the people that you want to make sure that you know. We travel to all the different types of neighborhoods, even the gated communities. So what's important is that you know what this place is like. So if you're actually coming to Lake Chapala and you really want to get your hands on boots on the ground discovery tour to where you really know if in fact this place is going to be a place for you, then I would suggest that you reach out to me. My email and everything will be in the bottom in the description of the email, but what it'll do is also be on the screen itself. So you don't have to do it by yourself. I've been doing this now 4 years. I'm right at about a couple hundred couples that I've taken out on the tours. And as we know from the tours, we've had about 140 to 150 couples that have actually moved here from the States and also from Canada. So again, it isn't something that you have to try to do yourself in regards to what your life is going to be like here at Lake Chapala. So with that, I hope that this has also been helpful for you. I hope that I've got friends that are around here. I hope that that's been something that's really been of help. And remember the bonus tip, you don't have to be doing something by yourself. It can be done for yourself, but not by yourself. And it's something that I do. If you have an interest, feel free to reach out to me and I can give you all the important information from there. So, as always, thank you so much for being a part of this channel. Thank you for supporting and being a part of this community. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next video.